to censor the expressions of retired General Chiwenga, because they are always a mirror into the feelings of the members of the Politburo of ZANU-PF, and most probably they give the people a picture of the nature of the meeting, of what may be the temperature. I mean, as the opening speech of the Politburo, especially under Emerson Mnangagwa, has been an eye-opener into serious internal battles confronting ZANU-PF. And as I was looking at retired General Chiwenga's face, I noticed the moment Emerson Mnangagwa derived this point that all conference resolutions should be implemented, and emphasizing that this should be done on time. Retired General Chiwenga looked not impressed. You could see even his facial expression. He is one of the men who cannot pretend, especially if he is not impressed about a particular point. He was listening, but in his face you could read a personality who does not actually agree with what was said. Let me just play the point that was underscored by Emerson Mnangagwa in his opening remarks, and from there I will begin to comment in detail. It's my network. Yeah.
Implemented with clear tactics and laid out timelines.
Okay. So I think that's the point I wanted to derive home. When the moment Emerson Mnangagwa, unfortunately, you see there are these untrained barakashis. They exposed information that was supposed to be hidden to the members of the public. If you watch the videos that are circulated by Barakashi, you know, it's quite interesting that so Barakashi are allowed to film during the Politburo sessions of ZANU-PF. Under what? I mean, they now act as journalists in the Politburo of ZANU-PF. I must say that, of course, I'm not interested in the ZANU-PF politics, but Emerson Mnangagwa has reduced or soiled the dignity. In fact, let me not talk about the dignity. In fact, has that organizational that organizational component that was so small in ZANU-PF, he has actually diminished all of it. And so it was what Mnangagwa said during the Politburo. He said all resolutions should be implemented timelessly. And we know when he say all, he is also including the 2030 term extension, his 2030 term extension. He has been playing hide and seek, but we know that retired General Chiwenga, when presenting the dossier, he actually pointed it out clear that Emerson Mnangagwa was the kingpin of 2030 term extension. And I'm sure now at the moment they are realizing a man coming, exhibiting his true colors. You know, I wonder how it should be like, especially for an individual like retired General Chiwenga, sitting in an environment where you are actually bullied in terms of, because he cannot actually at that moment say to Emerson Mnangagwa, stop. He cannot say anything. He is surrounded by bootlickers, and is surrounded by someone who attempted to eliminate him, but did not succeed in doing so, and he has to listen to evil machinations of the same person who continues to deceive him in his eyes, but in his back scheming on how to possibly eliminate him. As I indicated in the previous live video, that Emmerson Mnangagwa made it quite clear. In fact, he rallied his supporters to fight retired General Chiwenga when he says, continue to expose, which means to expose those who are actually betraying, who are counter-revolutionary. And being counter-revolutionary in the dictionary of Emmerson Mnangagwa simply means to actually say no to the mutilation of the 2013 Constitution of Zimbabwe. That is what they refer to as being counter-revolutionary. Someone would think that it is indeed being counter-revolutionary in real sense. No, it is not being counter-revolutionary. In fact, if there are people who are counter-revolutionary, it is Emmerson Mnangagwa as well as Zwikanandas. I mean, how is this sustainable whereby a nation survives through handouts and leaders actually bribe their way to the top of ZANU-PF? It started with Takwirei, and this time around, I mean, there is this tempter, Paul Tempter to Kwarara. He is actually doing it, making massive donations so that he can be co-opted into the ZANU-PF Central Committee. This is, I'm short of even words to define this, but from the opening remarks, Chiwenga looked not impressed, especially with the entire opening remarks of Emmerson Mnangagwa, because they were modeled in such a way to send a message to him, but not directly so, but indirectly, because Emmerson Mnangagwa, alongside those whom he is working with, they are cowards of not. They cannot actually stand up and say, Chiwenga, you are doing this. They will actually be speaking indirectly, but we know who exactly they are addressing when they are actually speaking. So the expression of Chiwenga when the opening remarks were actually read is a mirror actually to what may have possibly transpired behind the corridors of ZANU-PF. Most probably it was an exhaustive meeting, and even those who are leaking the information, they are trying to process most probably what transpired behind doors, but we are moving in the direction of actually witnessing the rule of Emmerson Mnangagwa coming to an end. Watch my words. It will be because of his miscalculations. It will be him and him alone shooting himself on his own leg. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars.